going on?
Hey y'all.
How's it going?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing great.
Good.
Doing well. What's new? Where are you calling in from?
I'm from South Georgia.
Okay, South Georgia.
Yeah.
Nice. All right. So tell us a little bit about you, your story, your journey. You started in network marketing and you've been doing that a long time.
I
Okay,
have.
so number one, how did you make it in that industry so long? And number two, what's kind of been, like I'm guessing you're pretty successful and doing well in it. So tell us a little bit, what's your secret? And then also tell us about, your introduction or discovery of, freelance digital marketing or digital marketing.
Okay. Well, I lived in Panama City, Florida years and years ago, and I got started in real estate there. And I didn't love it because I really didn't feel like I had the freedom. And I just, freedom was so important to me to be able to have, the ability to come and go and be with my family. And so I was working real estate as, as an agent, of course, and somebody approached me about another direct selling business. And so I started it because I thought if I saw an ad for this company in the newspaper or online or something, of course, online wasn't even a thing at that time, but I thought if I saw an ad for this company, it is absolutely perfect. So I just started, even though it was super duper outside my comfort zone. It really was. I had anxiety out the wazoo. But I started it because it just was such a great opportunity. And I know it sounds absolutely crazy to have done something for 25 years and had anxiety about it pretty much every day, but I did. And I did it because I just thought there is nothing better. I couldn't find anything better that would offer me the ability to make a really good income and have the freedom that I wanted and so many other perks. I mean, I had free cars, I had all kinds of perks. And I looked for other opportunities just in case there was something out there. I thought I want to be, open-minded. But all these years went by and I never found anything that to me could compare. Even though I had a hard time doing it, I forced myself to just suck it up every day and do it. But I finally got to the point in the last few years where I'm like, I don't have joy sucking it up anymore. I just don't have joy here anymore. And yeah, I made it six, it was a successful run. Obviously, I wouldn't have stayed in it that long if I hadn't had some success, but it really just came down to the joy factor. There was no joy. There was no joy. So last year when COVID hit, it was such, and I don't mean this disrespectfully to anybody who suffered because of COVID, but for me, it was a humongous blessing because of the way it changed the business that I was in. We were forced to go virtual. I didn't know how much I would love that. I had no idea how much I would love that. And so when we got
What
in,
did you love about that?
I loved not having to have people come to my house. I loved not having to clean up because people were coming over. And it's not that I don't like to have people come over. It's just, you plan for people to come over and sometimes they show up and sometimes they don't. And, I'd have to boot my husband out. And, I just loved that. Oh, I also loved that I could reach people nationwide that before it was only local people, only as far as I could drive or they could drive to me. So, and I live in Southwest Georgia. And I don't know if you know a lot about Southwest Georgia, but anyway, it's not a big metropolis or anything with, you know. So I love that I could meet people in Pennsylvania and Minnesota and all of these places that I never would have been able to do had it not gone virtual. So when I took the business virtual last year, by the end of 2020, I was like, you know what? There's a bigger world out there. I have been living in such a small world and it's humongous. I wish I had started this, what we're doing here, 10 years ago at least. And I just didn't know about it, to be honest with you. I was on TikTok looking for entertainment, literally only looking for the funny videos. Where's the funny ones? Where's the funny ones? And so I came across a girl talking about her affiliate marketing business. And I literally said, what the heck is that? I didn't know what affiliate marketing was. And so I had to look up the definition. I was like, okay. And so I watched her. I took the 15-day business challenge. And by day 4, I was like, okay, I'm done with this other thing I've done for 25 years. I'm done. I'm doing this now. And that's literally how it went. And so here I am. And I'm
Wow.
excited to be here.
That's super cool. Um, it's like, it's crazy for me to think about that history and all of that direct sales. And um, yeah, I think sometimes you're like, man, I wish I had discovered this sooner. But also, there's probably just a lot of, I think people, it's all just kind of like the lens that we look through stuff, right? So, like, there's always a way to look at that and be like, well, God, wish I would have,
Yeah.
right? But then, like, when you actually look at, um, I think when you actually sit down and look at, like, well, how am I going to craft a story, and how am I going to craft sort of my journey, and even outside of the marketing angle, just really like, what is my story? What is my journey? And that's a really powerful, compelling one. One of a discovery of, how to go online and how to take one's existing business on the internet. And also, that's one thing which I find to be really powerful and empowering to people. But also, the other thing is from the marketing angle, right? So, like, from the marketing angle of things, and if you're marketing something in the Make Money Online niche or something like that, I mean, just imagine, unpacking 25 years for people. Here's how I used to sell. Here's what it looked like. Here's the success that I had, and here's how it worked. And now all of that, I've just opened up the whole world, because I can now take everything that I was doing and start a new business model, all on the internet, which is the most powerful platform ever. Literally has changed everybody's income over the last like 18 months. Everybody went online. Everybody's online now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's super fascinating. Super fascinating. So, I view that the first thing that I hear with what you said is, I hear a lot of experience in sort of direct sales. Is that right?
Yeah. That's it.
So you're bringing people to your house, you're doing products, demos, stuff like that, right?
That's right. And I was a sales director. So I was
Mhm.
also training other women, mostly some men, to do the same thing.
Yeah, right. Yes.
Hmm.
And so, um, tons of, are you more extroverted?
Actually, I'm an introvert,
Yeah.
but I am a goofy introvert. I mean, I love to just, when I say I was looking for entertainment, I just love to be stupid, silly. And
Cool.
my sisters, I have 2 older sisters, and they both told me I need to tone it down a little bit in these videos and try to, reel it in. Not that I'm funny. Not that I'm hilarious or anything, but I just like to be goofy. And my oldest sister's like, you need to be a little bit more professional. I'm like, damn. And then my middle sister was like, you sound kind of salesy because you're real animated. And I'm like, well, I don't know how to be. I've got the TikTok algorithm, and I have not made friends yet. So I've got to figure out what to do to get this right. But what did you ask me?
I was just kind of asking about your history in direct sales, because I was
Mm,
curious. There's
yeah,
probably going to be at some point down the road a little bit of overlap,
yeah.
where a lot of those skills that you developed end up becoming really helpful.
I hope so. I hope so. I mean, I know I've done it for 25 years for some reason. I know because I prayed a lot over the years. Is this what I'm supposed to be doing, Lord? Is this what I'm supposed to be doing? Is this what I'm supposed to be doing? And I always felt like, stay here, stay here, stay here. And it was almost like I've got a virus coming, and then you're going to see a new path before you. And so that really is what happened. But also I have and I want to encourage anybody else who's new to maybe think about this mindset. I have the mindset that you don't quit just because it's hard. And even though that was really hard for me, it really, really was. You don't quit because it's hard.
Mm-hmm.
You persevere, and you just keep going, because around the corner, who knows what, right around the corner. But if you quit, you miss it. And so I've got that same mentality here now. Like, this was so new to me. All of this was completely new. Like I said, I didn't even know what affiliate marketing was. And thank God for the blueprint, Matt, because you taking the time to go step by step, detailed, how to set this stuff up. I don't know how I would have done it without that. I just wouldn't have had a clue. So
Yeah, sometimes I underrate that because I've done that so many times, and then
mhm,
people say
mhm.
that, and I'm like, oh,
Yeah,
oh yeah, you're right.
yeah. It was like I seriously didn't have any idea what to do. So that was the biggest benefit to me, was
So
getting
I
that.
was thinking, as I go through, as I go through, like when I think about, because I started in direct sales too, when I think about direct sales and some of the people that I've known who've come from that industry into this industry, there's a pretty big learning curve, especially with the marketing piece. Now, I think this might sound a little counterintuitive, because direct sales is very different than marketing. So marketing involves a lot of curiosity, and it involves anti-selling. It involves more piquing curiosity, and direct sales is something I studied for years. And especially direct response marketing is really particular about driving to a sale. It's about giving people a clear path to a sale, as clear as humanly possible, and telling them exactly what to do and giving them one option. You've got
Right.
one option. Here it is. Here's how to
Mhm,
get started today. You ready?
mhm.
And I studied that and studied that and studied that. But then what I realized, and this might be helpful for you, because I had to go through this learning curve, and a lot of other people, and this would probably help you on TikTok, is sorry, I've got a dog who are just, she's going nuts. Um, I've got so I had to go through this learning curve. Many others who've been in direct sales or network marketing had to go through this, where you have to go through a phase where you totally stop talking about the product, right? So there's zero talk about the product, and it's more so about just opening curiosity, right?
Yeah.
Um, so for instance, like one thing that I've seen do really well for people over the last, let's say, year and a half, 18 months, I think, over the last year and a half on TikTok in this industry. So specifically in the make money online industry, but also in the weight loss industry, and also in the dog training industry, is more so doing how to style content. So,
Mhm.
um, and what I mean by that, for everybody who's watching, is you start out your video with a very specific, engaging sort of hook, right? I'm going to show you one thing, and only show them one thing. I'm going to show you one thing. Sometimes people go into, I'm going to show you 5 side hustles or whatever, but if you can nail down your niche, and you can sort of learn from other people in the industry, who are having success. For instance, I was reading about 2 electric vehicle companies that have launched in the last year, who are basically just taking the playbook that Tesla already took and are replicating it. Do their cars look exactly the same? No. Are they the exact same model? No. Are they the same price? No. But generally, the playbook, they look at Tesla with a 1 trillion whatever market cap, and they're like, well, that seemed to work.
Yeah.
So we're going to do the same thing. The same can be true of this, or really any business model, but especially this one with content creation. So if the TikTok algorithm doesn't love you yet, um, here's something to try. The first thing is, and I'll put your TikTok up here in just a second, but the first thing is, stop talking about affiliate marketing. That word scares people. So rather than talking about affiliate marketing, what you can talk about is, you can talk about words that are more common in our industry. So for instance, side hustle was a big one last year. And that one's even starting to go out a little bit, but it still works, right? Here's a great side hustle you can do from home that has little competition. Let me show you how, right? A good little hook like that really helps. But the second one I find to be working even better right now is work from home, right? So early on in the pandemic, everybody thought, oh, this is going to be temporary. So, all right, I want a side hustle. Now everybody's friends, everybody, like you have at least a couple days work from home. I mean, unless you're in manufacturing, uh,
Yeah.
you're going to work from home at least a couple days a week. So now, for instance, this guy Ian put out a video. He's got 10 million views on it. He grew multiple hundred thousands of followers in about a month. I think he's at 500,000 followers now. And he launched out this video that's just something about $18 an hour working from Apple from home. And it's just a short little video. He actually put an apple on his finger. He got creative with it, right? So he's seen other people do a similar video. So he cut a hole in an apple and put it on his finger. And he's like, 18, hey, do you know, Apple's hiring people to do $18 an hour. I've seen other people do that and get millions of views too with that specific video. And they always put a little kind of cool spin on it or tell a bit about their story or something like that. But, you know, it's the same kind of hook and angle, the same playbook, right? Mm-hmm. But between those two, what people typically do is a structure like this. They'll start out with something like a quick hook that's 3 to 5 seconds. Hey, here's a quick side hustle I just came across and I wanted to share it with you. It can earn, you know, whatever. If the side hustle is like realistically, you can make like $25 an hour, or whatever, $100 a day or $75 a day. Check this out or whatever. Give them some sort of like hook, but also a benefit. What's in it for me, right? So it's not just a side hustle. It's a side hustle that can help you. Here's exactly how, right? You've got like 3 to 5 seconds max. And then and then after that, all that they do, and maybe you've seen this, but all that they do is they do they'll hold their phone up like this and they'll say, you know, hang on one second. Gonna try to get my dog to shut up. They'll say, hey, here's a side hustle, blah, blah, blah. Or, hey, here's how to make $18 an hour working from Apple from home. And then they'll flip the camera around, right? So they'll hit like flip and then they'll show their screen, right? And they walk you through and it's just a step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4 kind of thing. And it needs to be quick and it needs to be fast. And at the end, they just say something like and follow for more. Now, those videos are really good for follower building, right? So for building your list of followers, those are really good for that. And you've got to sprinkle in along with that. You also have to sprinkle in your own story, right? So your own journey, and you've got a compelling one of 25 years worth of direct selling about doing sort of your own side, you know, and you can, the way that you word that and massage that in for people is going to be really important because you've got this really unique story, 25 years of that history. So now you've got great stories you can tell. You've got interesting little nuggets that you can unpack, right? For this same guy, Ian, that I was telling you about, he used to be a bodyguard. So this is a fun idea that you could use. He used to be a bodyguard and what does he say? What's his tagline he uses? He says something like here, I've got him right here. The headline he uses is, oh my gosh, Day in the Life of a Bodyguard. So on his video, the thumbnail that he puts on his video, it says Day in the Life of a Bodyguard. He's now done 60 of those videos. So it says Day in the Life of a Bodyguard, part 59. Day in the Life of a Bodyguard, part 58, right? So he started at 1 and then now he's at 59. So that's day in the life of a network marketer, right? Day in the life of an ex MLMer, right? Or, you know, something like that, right? You put this
network marketer, right? I should X network. Okay.
Yeah. And so then people they know that you were formerly that, and people who were formerly that, which there's a lot of them, are going to be like, oh man, here we go. This is going to be funny, and you can tell jokes, and the point of those videos is just to endear people, to sort of make you feel real with people.
Mm-hmm.
So, you do something like that, then you do just, random content that's more telling your story and telling your journey, and hey, here's what's up today. You do, let's say, a couple of those, 2 or 3, and then you sprinkle in another sort of how-to video that's meant to build that following. And as soon as you get one of those to go viral, that's when you post, something like a day in the life of an network marketer, or, a day in the life of an affiliate marketer, or, here's something, 3 things I wish I knew before I got started online, and you talk through, over the last 25 years, I've been working in direct sales and doing nothing but selling, and people come to my house all the time, and oh my gosh. And then one day I stumble on this stupid TikTok video, and I figure out I can just do all this online, right? And you tell the story about how everything's going online and everything's moving online, and you can start your own side hustle online today, something like that, right? But those ones are really key after you get, because you will get one of those videos to go super viral. I don't really have a question about that. And by super viral, I mean like maybe 50,000 views or 100,000 or maybe 1 million views or something. But when that happens, right after that, the trick to actually converting them into sales is, and here's where you have a one-up on everybody else in this industry. I guarantee it, because what I see people doing is the top affiliates. I wrote about this yesterday in our weekly roundup. The top affiliates are going live on a daily basis. Now, you might not have to go live every single day, but I will tell you that the top earners, they go live at the same time every day. They'll do like coffee with Ian, or they'll do, hey, waking up with the morning coffee. And, if you've got 500,000 followers or 1 million followers or whatever, you might have every day somewhere in the range of 10,000 to 50,000 people who tap on your live and join your live, even though it only says maybe 100 people are viewing concurrently over the course of an hour or 2. And that's the place. You should not be selling or doing any form of selling in your video posts, but in your lives, that's the place where you bring all of that direct sales experience and all of that knowledge and all of your ability to unpack things for people clearly and present to people, right? I mean, my goodness, if there's anybody in this entire industry who could do that, I can't think of anybody who could do it better than you could. And that's where you go live and you just hold up that phone, or you get a little stand for your phone. You set it up on your desk, and you just start answering people's questions. And the big thing is you call out every new viewer by name. You say, hey, what's up? How's it going? Good to see you. Thanks for joining. And you kind of just welcome into the room. It's as if you're doing a home party. That's all that it is. It's like an Arbonne home party. And I don't know what
do Arbonne.
Yeah. And you welcome people in, and here's the trick, because when they see that viral video, they're going to think, well, okay, I bet I've done this before. I've been to a home party with somebody like Amy before. I don't trust this. But then they get on live and it's like, whoa, this is different. Like, she's a real person. She's really nice. She's kind. I get it. They ask questions, you actually respond, and then it's a totally different game. So, you're gonna get bombarded with followers once you get one of those to go live, and then comes the lives, and then comes all of that stuff later, which I think for you will be much more just seamless. The first part for you to focus on is just that virality piece and really getting videos to go viral and getting that traffic and getting that, but that will happen. Like, and if it does, and I would say this, if you go hard for a couple months and it doesn't, 60 days, you might just have to create a new account. But I don't think that will happen. I think most times people think they need to create a new account because they're shadow banned. I think that they just haven't really hit the algorithm quite perfectly. So anyway, those are my, is that
Those are
helpful?
great tips. Thank you. Thank
Okay.
you. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Because I think you've got, when I look at your channel and stuff, it feels like you've got a really good start. And I think right about now is the reason I say I don't think you'll need you've got over 1,000 views on one of your videos. I think a lot of times the people who need to start a new channel are the people who start out and they have like 10 views or 80 views on every video. And it looks pretty clear
Yeah.
that the algorithm's holding them at a capped amount of views. In your case, I wouldn't listen to the people who say you need less enthusiasm or anything like that. Just keep being you.
Okay.
But what I would do is that how-to style content. That is the stuff that goes by. That's what people watch over and over and over again. And just make how-to style content however you feel comfortable or however you feel.
I
You
felt
know, it's
a little bit unsure about copying other people's videos. And I mean, I know we're supposed to put our own spin on it and that kind of thing, but I've got to get it in my head that that's truly okay to pull up successful accounts and find their videos that have done really well and just recreate it. That's okay, right? That's what you've
Yeah.
said to do.
So the other way to go about that is more of a reporter style,
Okay.
right? So if you think about, there's people online, there's people on TikTok who have accounts where literally all they do is like report. Um, there's news outlets, and then there's like anchors and reporters who are independent reporters and stuff, right? And so they'll say, breaking reported by AP News or whatever. You can create those styles of videos by saying something like, hey, I just came across this like side hustle and I just heard about this and I wanted to share this with you. Check this out. This is really weird. What do you think about this? Now notice the spin on that, right? I heard about this. I just stumbled upon this. This is interesting. I thought this was a little weird. What do you think? Right? So now, because there is some people who are like, well, if I haven't tried every single side hustle that I talk about in my videos and my marketing, it seems like that's like misleading or something, which whatever moral world someone's living in, if they have a issue with the morality of that, whatever, that's whatever. You can even just put a little disclaimer in your video that just says, I don't do this side hustle, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
you can say something like disclaimer, I don't do this side hustle. I've never tried this, right? Like
Okay.
that's the thing you could put on there. It's not
Okay.
that big of a deal. Like people don't really care that much. They're more interested in just, people lose sight of the fact that what all you're trying to do is open the mind of somebody to the possibility that you could potentially, make money online or lose weight faster or train your dog to not bark at the mailman or whatever. But in your case, the I think that it's getting I and maybe that's my fault, but I think sometimes I don't portray as well that there's different ways to approach that style of content. Um, Not to mention the fact that if you think about another one that's gone really viral is like making $25 an hour for Tesla,
Yeah.
working remotely from Tesla or something like that. If you were to drill down to the very core of like that video, which has been created by probably, I don't know, 100 people or more on TikTok, probably way more. I have no clue. If you drill down to that, really all that it is literally just telling somebody about a job listing on a website. Like
Yeah.
the level of proprietariness in that type of a video or that style of content is, there isn't any. Like
Yeah.
it's just, there isn't any proprietariness. And a lot of that is getting lost, that proprietariness for content, for digital art and stuff, which is why NFTs are becoming so popular, is because a lot of that is like, who owns this? No one even knows anymore, right? And
Right.
TikTok muddled all the waters on that. But we have this sort of we have this sort of antiquated idea that somehow that's a copyrighted thing from a movie or from a TV show, but that's just not how social media works right now. Now, we have to be careful that we don't exactly, like, we're not stealing. So what some people will do is they'll create an account, they'll download other people's videos and post them as their own. That is wrong for sure. But you can also just change your headline a little bit, right? So if I'm going to go out and I'm going to find the one about Apple or something like that, if I'm going to go and show or redo that one, the way even that Ian introduced his, it makes it a totally different piece of content. It's not even recognizable aside from the beginning saying something about $18 an hour from Apple, right? The way that you could do that is you could break down what's $18 an hour times like 25, so 25 hours a week, right? You could create a new piece of content that's okay, so 25 times 18, so that'd be $450 a week. So it's really simple to be like, you know, did you know that you could say the headline could be, here's a simple way to make $450 a week working from Apple remotely and only working 25 hours a week, you know, or something like that, right? You could say, is it possible to work 25 hours a week and make $450 from working from home from Apple or working remotely from Apple or something like that, right? Now it's not $18 an hour from Apple. It's $450 a week from Apple, working part-time, working less than 30 hours a week. Let me show you how, right? So now it's the words aren't even remotely the same. It's just talking about that similar thing, you know? So I think that the objection you're feeling internally, I don't want to just skip over and say it's not legit, because I think what you're getting at is like kind of a legit feeling. Like the feeling isn't so much that it's like, oh, this is morally wrong. It just feels like it's lacking some novelty. And that element, I think, is true. And the reason that's true is because you're right, it is lacking a little novelty. And that's why some people, when they create these videos, it doesn't work. Like it doesn't do the same thing because they didn't put an apple on their finger like Ian did and make a funny joke out of it. Or they didn't, you know, there's a difference once you get thoughtful about how do I put my spin on it and how do I do that? I don't know. Does that make sense? What's coming up for you?
I feel exactly like everything that you said, and I agree. I mean, I think that's it. I just felt like it's nothing new. It's something everybody's seen before. Because the people that I'm following, I see nothing but these type of videos constantly because that's who I'm following. So I got to remember, not everybody in the world is seeing these same videos because not everybody's following, you know, the people like us who are affiliate marketers. But
that is your first huge takeaway. That is a huge takeaway because there are billions. There are endless people joining TikTok today who will discover your videos, and this is going to be the first one they see.
Right.
And the thing I do is I go back to my first moment 10 years ago when I first got introduced to MLM, and it was the first time it was just when MLM was starting to come online, and they were introducing me to this. Oh man, it was some sort of leveraged system, and they started showing the pyramid, and they started showing how all the trickle down, and you could do this all online. And I was like, I am going to be so rich. But so all of that, like, I didn't really want to be in that MLM maybe, and I didn't, you know, and I don't know if all of it really fit. And there was lots of companies putting out these kind of videos, but that was the one I saw first. And I remember the chair I was sitting in. I remember the room. I remember my dorm room was 701. Everything. I remember everything. And I remember calling to my friends and they were like, dude, this is a pyramid scheme. And I was like, I don't think so. But what happened was, that moment, my mind was opened, right? And anybody could have made that video. Lots of companies did make a video that was very similar, but they put their spin on it, put their own skin on it, kind of put a new headline on it. But it was network marketing, right?
Right.
But it was the one I saw, changed my life forever. And it's not so much that that video was super unique or super, that it was perfect. It was kind of a lame video, honestly. But it was that moment where my mind got opened to the fact of like, oh, people like me are making some money out there online, or I could work from home with Apple, or I could work for Tesla, like the most successful, one of the most successful companies ever. I could work for them for $25 an hour from home. Like, that's crazy. And
Yeah.
then they're going to be like, this lady's interesting. I'm going to follow her. And then guess what? Amy goes live the next day and she says, a lot of people saw my video about working for Tesla. You want to know a way better option than working for $25 an hour from Tesla? Check this out. Right. And now they're like, wow. Right. See, some people have that internal, like, that little, that like hesitation, because it's like, well, I mean, working for Tesla, like, what does that have to do with me and my business, But the reality is you're just opening that little sliver of like, oh, wow, this is cool. This is interesting. Wow. How did I get into this world in TikTok? Like, I've been in cartel TikTok. I've been in dog TikTok. I've been in all kinds of TikTok worlds.
Yeah.
But now they find themselves, TikTok tosses one little, video out in front of people from Amy and says, all these people who've never seen a video on digital marketing or making money on the internet or something. And guess what? A percentage of those people are going to stick. They're going to follow you. They're going to watch your stuff. And then you're going to go live, or even if you don't ever go live. There's a lot of people who never go live either.
Well, I would love to do that, but you have to have
I know you would.
followers, right?
Yeah. Well, you'll get there.
I'll get there maybe by June. I want to do that. I'm ready. I'm ready to go live.
Yeah, you'll get there. You'll get there, but there's a reason I think that you've got to break through this first one, because it's going to make you a more well-rounded marketer.
Yes.
Because you've got all of these skills. It's like you're overloaded in just so much skills on that end around the relational aspect of this business, around building and around selling and around just sort of that whole structural build. And then but this first piece, this front piece, is a totally new ball game, which is so exciting, right? Like, I feel like I have a lot of people who have worked careers for 15, 20 years or something, and they come to me and they're like, oh, I wish I would have done this when I was 20. And I was like, yeah, but the other benefit I feel like that, somebody who's at 20 or 30 doesn't get to feel necessarily, which they're neither right or wrong, but is the fact that there's a new challenge. Like, people finding new challenges in every stage of life, and new things to run after, and new skills they have to form. And even feeling like, you've put out a lot of videos and you said the TikTok algorithm doesn't like me yet. There's nothing better than that. I tell people that every day who come to me and they're like, God, I just can't break through. I'm like, this is the best case, right? Because now when you do break through that and succeed, you've got this huge skill set that you had to, just crawl through mud to get to, and you've built a new skill, and you feel revived. Like, there's this new challenge ahead. That's so good for the human spirit. It's so good for us as humans to always renew and revive that feeling that there's something new ahead. So I don't know. But you're also talking with like the ultimate optimist here. So I am like,
I feel the same way. I feel very, very optimistic about all of this. But the thing that is so exciting is that after 25 years of drudging through the mud, like you said, I couldn't find anything else that I really felt was worth my time until this. And then like, this is it.
Wow, that's so cool.
This is it. So I will persevere. And hopefully a year from now, I'll come back on here and I'll say other things.
Well, we're going to have you back on way before that. But we're gonna put up your TikTok so that so we can get that following up a little bit,
Thank you.
And have a bunch of people go follow you and build that up.
Thank you. Thank
That would
y'all.
be great.
All y'all who follow. Yes.
And I think, I think you'll absolutely break through that followers. I think you'll probably, my guess is in 3 months, you'll look back and say 1,000 followers. Like, really? I was concerned about that. It's always kind of these like weird barriers that we make up in our head. And it's like, you break through it and you're like, oh, wow. Okay. It was just that. Okay. I got this,
Yeah. I remember celebrating with my son when I had, I've got 9 followers. I've got 9, and we're jumping around. So yeah, I appreciate every one of them. I'm
I
grateful.
love it. That's awesome. Well, when you're at 50,000 followers, I'm sure it'll be a totally different game.
Yeah. But thank you for all the tips. I wrote them down, and it's so helpful.
Cool. Well, we're always just here to help. So
Yes.
I'm always around, and our team is always around. So thanks for coming on. And if you have questions in the meantime, let me know.
I will.
Happy to help. Cool. Thanks for coming on. See ya.
All right. Y'all have a great day.
Bye. See ya. All right, guys. Hey, make sure to give Amy a follow. Make Money with Amy Online. You can give her a follow there at Make Money with Amy Online. Give her a follow. Also, leave a comment. Hit the like on a couple of her videos. Give it a little boost. Give it a little jolt. That always helps with the TikTok algorithm. And encourage Amy to keep going, to keep pushing through. We're gonna have lots of people. Well, we have lots of people watching this live, but we also have a couple thousand who usually watch after the fact. So if you're watching this as a replay, grab this handle and give it a watch. So guys, we're going to be back here. I believe Dave's going to be back here tomorrow. I was just covering for him this morning, but I think he'll be back here tomorrow, 10 a.m. Eastern, same time, same place as always for Wake Up Legendary. I'll be back here hosting on Wednesday, and then Dave will wrap up the week. And that is a wrap. Have a good one, everybody. Good to see you all on here.